That's the next step, right? But let's talk about why, right? Let's touch on a few reasons why we need to go ahead and just let go of the past, right? So the first thing is, listen, the past cannot be changed. I know, I know, right? I know we think that if we just worry about it enough, if we just talk about it with enough people, if we just think about it hard enough, if we write about it in our diary, if we blah, 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 if we tell 10 therapists, 15 life coaches, and 38 friends, if we do all of these things, magically what had happened may change and then we'll be healed and then we'll be okay. But as we all know, that is not the case. Pardon me, the past cannot be changed, period. Right? The past cannot be changed. So we need to accept that. Derek, what's happening, my brother? Appreciate you, sir. Listen, the past cannot be changed. There's absolutely nothing I can do today that's going to change what happened yesterday, right? That's going to change the events of what happened yesterday. Now, I can change my relationship with yesterday, but I can't change what happened. So I can't change the facts. I can't change what took place. I can change my relationship with it, right? But the first thing I need to do is accept the fact that I can't change the past. The past cannot change, right? So that's the first thing we need to acknowledge, right? The past cannot change. And so I need to let that go and I need to start there. You know what? Me worrying, me stressing, me losing sleep, me still being angry, me being upset, me holding on to these thoughts, feelings of confusion, right? Me investing all of this time and energy is not going to change what happened. Now, I believe that it's worth the time and energy, it's worth the investment to get an understanding of what happened, and more importantly, get an understanding of yourself and of your view about what happened and how what happened is impacting you today. But a lot of us are stuck because we haven't acknowledged that we can't change it, and it still has a grip on us, right? So that's the first thing, right? That's the first thing. And then that kind of flows right into the second thing, which is letting go of the past frees up mental and emotional space. One of the things that I talk about all the time is budgeting your energy, right? Budgeting your time and energy. I always talk about those things, right? Budgeting 101, budgeting your time and energy. You can get another couple dollars, right? You can make some more money, but your time and energy, you can't get that back. And it's limited, right? There's only so many hours in a day. There's only so much energy available to you in a day. Even someone who is, you're fully committed to doing everything you can to get everything you can out of yourself, meaning your diet is great, your rest is great, what you do is great. There's still only a certain amount of energy available to you. And if you budget a large amount of that on what had happened yesterday, there's not much available to you so that you can move forward today, right? So we have to acknowledge, we have to accept the fact that yesterday cannot be changed no matter what. No amount of money you earn, nothing you do today is going to change what happened yesterday. And the second thing we need to pay attention to is the fact that, holding on to the past is consuming our time and energy, and it's stopping us from moving forward. It's stopping us from growing and stretching. It's literally stopping us from becoming the person that we can become, right? Because it's literally has a grip on us, right? So we need to free up that mental and emotional space, right? Trying to change what happened yesterday. We can't do it. So the more you hold on to the past, right, the more of your time and energy you're wasting, right? The more of your mental and emotional space that's being clogged up, right? It's like, you ever get a message telling you that, your memory was low, maybe on your computer, maybe on your phones once upon a time, right? It's like, oh man, I had a buddy of mine, we always go back and forth. He's still using an Android, which I don't understand why anyone does that. But anyway, he went to take a picture and he couldn't, or excuse me, make a video, and he couldn't because basically his phone told him he didn't have any memory. He didn't have any space to do what he needed to do. And honestly, a lot of us are in that place in our lives, right? We're wondering why we always feel depleted. We're wondering why we always feel like, oh, we're always, tugging on the bottom of our shorts, right? Because our good energy, right? Our mental space is being consumed with yesterday, being consumed by yesterday. So the past can't be changed, right? So holding on to it serves no purpose. It doesn't benefit us in any way. And also it consumes too much of our mental and emotional space, right? Our mental and emotional energy, right? What else? The past, it holds us back, right? It keeps us from moving forward. It's like it's like I'm standing in, it's like I'm standing here and I'm stuck, right? Like my feet are cemented to this floor right here. And I literally can't step forward, right? There's some things that are in front of me, some things that I want to accomplish, right? Some places that I want to go, some things that I want to create for myself. But as every time I go to step into those things, I'm stuck, right? My feet are stuck. So my past is holding me back, right? I would, but dot, dot, dot. And the dot, dot, dot is always something that had happened yesterday, right? So essentially, we're allowing yesterday to steal away our today, which in turn is cheating us out of the experiences that we could create for ourselves tomorrow, right? So the past is stealing the present and then stopping us from creating the future that we desire for ourselves, right? Think about that. Just think about that. And a lot of times, instead of we we don't realize that it's us. We don't realize that it's us being so consumed by and our refusal to let go of the past that's keeping us from moving forward, right? That's shrinking us in today, right? I can't stand boldly, right, and walk in as my best self because what had happened last time, or what had happened 7 years ago, or what he had said, or what she had said, or this person, they asked me this particular question, or they said I didn't look the part, or I didn't. And I'm holding on to that, and that's stopping me from showing up as the greatest version of me today. And that's where many of us are. So again, we have to let the past go because it's literally holding us back. It's stopping us from being great. Every time I interact with someone, right? And I'm not going to say every time, 99.9% of the time, right, that I have an interaction with someone, they'll come to me, we'll have an interaction, I'll ask them some questions, I'll try to get to know them, get to understand where they are, and then when I ask them about, okay, what's the roadblock that's in front of you? Like, what can I help you to navigate through? Right? What's the chaos going on? How can I help you connect the dots? So what's the mountain that you want to climb that I can help to, help you equip yourself to climb? It's always about, it's always a situation where they don't see themselves as worthy, able, or deserving of this particular thing or this particular mountain or this particular type of relationship. They want it, they desire it, but they don't see themselves as worthy, able, or deserving. Right? I'm not capable. I'm not, I'm not worthy. I don't deserve. And then when you start peeling back the layers to go into the why, it's always something that happened in yesteryear, right? It's always something that had happened, 10 years ago, right? I want to do this, but I can't do this because once upon a time I did this. Let me tell you something. I would not be, let me tell you, if that were true, right? Who would be qualified to help us, right? Do you know why I'm qualified to help people? Because of all the hell that I raised, because of all the nonsense that I did, or because of all the poor decisions that I went through, right? Because of all the things that I had to overcome in my life. Not because, I've read a book or two and magically, hello, I can help you. Hell no, that's not the case. It's because I fumbled so many times. It's because I fell so many times, right? It's because of I made some poor choices many, many times. It's because I had every reason to be successful and I crashed and burned and failed. The thing I did was I just kept going. I just kept going. I just kept going. I just kept going. I just kept going, right? And just because I may not look or act like the things that I experience, right? When we interact, and as I start writing you a prescription and helping you to navigate through the muddy water that you're in, then it's like, oh man, okay, wow. But here's the thing. A lot of times, right, we don't initially see our experiences as we don't see that as something that actually, here's how I want to say it, pardon me. We feel like our past experiences, especially the ugly stuff, that disqualifies us from the blessings that we see in front of us. And so we think and we talk ourselves out of moving forward because, man, I really want to accomplish this. But do I deserve it because I did that? I really want a healthy relationship, and this person seems pretty cool, but I treated Johnny like crap. I saw that. You get what you get what I'm saying? And so we allow yesterday to rob us of today, to steal away our today, which in turn steals away our tomorrow. So it's twofold, right? If I'm holding on to yesterday, not only is it having a negative impact on, is it ruining, is it damaging, is it impacting negatively my present? It's also spilling over into the future because how do I set myself up for success tomorrow? By the choices I make today, right? The things I did yesterday put me in position to stand where I stand and do what I do today, right? And so if I'm always stuck in yesterday, I'm always going to be stuck in yesterday, right? So we have to get to a point where we understand that, holy crap, this is still holding me back. I've been forgiven. I forgave. I've let that go. I've outgrown that. I've matured past that. I'm not. I heard Les Brown say, uh, the person you are today wouldn't even make those choices or do that. So you're condemning an innocent person. I'm gonna say that again. The person you are today wouldn't handle that particular situation the way you handled it. Listen, I don't care if it was this morning. I don't care if you turned up and got a little ugly and had a little extra spice with someone on this morning, right? If you acknowledge within yourself what happened, you apologize, you put the information out there, and you take ownership, you take that gut punch, right? Now, as you go forward, you have to free yourself from what you did this morning. I know you got a little crazy. It's okay, right? But you have to free yourself because now that you have that point of reference and you understand, like, wow, what I say and how I move actually matters, and it has an impact on the people that I care about. Wow, let me move a little bit differently, right? But if you keep condemning yourself, if you don't show up as the best you because of what you had did earlier, not only are you cheating yourself out of an amazing experience, right? You're cheating the rest of us. You're cheating the world. You're cheating your loved ones out of experiencing your greatness. So you're literally cheating us because you had messed up earlier. No, 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 no. Once you forgive yourself, then you have the ability to free yourself from that situation. So again, what we're talking about today, if you tapped in a little late, is letting go of the past. Someone reached out to me and said, basically, look, I need help letting go of the past, and I'm going through a few reasons why we need to let it go. And one of them is it's holding us back. I'm telling you, that's the biggest thing we run into because we have these feelings, and it's all of us, right? It's me too. Listen, listen. I'm not worthy. I'm not capable. I'm not enough. Those monsters listen, they've been trying to eat me for decades. So it's not just you, it's all of us that we go through that experience, but we have to understand that we have the power to free ourselves from that. What you mean I'm not? What you mean you're not worthy? Says who? Because you messed up last year? Because you messed up this morning? Shit, you was a lie. I messed up 6 minutes ago. Does that mean I'm not worthy? But that's the story we tell ourselves, and that's how we move because we hold on to that. We don't hold on to the promise that tightly. We don't hold on to all of our wins that tightly. It's the losses, right? It's the times that we mess up, right? It's the times when we misspeak. It's the times when we get it wrong that we just hold on to those so tightly. We don't want to let those go. So why? It's stopping us from moving forward, right? So hold on, let me make sure I'm not missing any comments. Let's go ahead and cut that one. All right. Yeah, there's some nonsense over there. Okay. Let's see. My guy flexed the muscles. Erica laughed. It got the receipt. Exactly. Right? Got the cuts and bruises and the scrapes. Some of them are beneath the surface, but the receipts are there for sure. It makes you relatable. Experience is an excellent qualifier. Exactly. It's what makes you relatable. Exactly. So I want to stay there for a moment, right? About the experience, because a lot of us we don't have a healthy relationship with yesterday, right? And again, we look at those experiences from yesterday and we see them as reasons why we can't go forward or why we're not enough, or we see them as disqualifiers, right? You know, what Dee Dee said was what now? Experience is an excellent qualifier, but so many times we see our experiences as a disqualifier, right? As the reason why we're ineligible, right? Man, that's an awesome. I would love to be a part of that, but you know, it's like having the ding on your record, right? It's like having a conviction, and literally, you know, some people literally aren't allowed to pursue certain careers, aren't allowed to do certain things. They don't have access to certain things because they have criminal records, right? Myself, right? I'm a convicted felon, right? So that means that if I'm filling out a job application and they say, "Have you ever been?" I have to say yes. And with a lot of companies, no matter, listen, I could have the perfect qualifications, I could have the perfect attitude and energy that they want, I could be the person they want to hire, but some companies just they have, oh, you have that? Nope, you can't do it, right? If I wanted to go become a stockbroker, right, and I wanted to get those particular licenses, I can't get them, right? So there are some things that I don't have access to because of that. Now, shame on me for doing that to myself, right? It sucks that the world is set up in such a way, right? Because clearly who I am today is not who that kid was who was doing those things and making those goofy choices that he was making, right? But I'm still paying prices for that, and that's okay, right? But that's something that's out of my control. The system is what it is, and I continue to press forward. But unfortunately, we put ourselves, in that same bondage, right? We disqualify ourselves from opportunities, right? We disqualify ourselves. Think about that. We disqualify ourselves from certain opportunities because of some choices that we made in the past, because of some things that we've done, in the past, or just because of some feelings about something. Sometimes, oh, this is true right here. This is me talking to myself. Thanks for listening in. For a long time, I disqualified myself from moving into certain arenas because of what some people, right, who I valued in the past, because of some negative seeds that they planted. How you going to do that? Who are you to do that? How you going to do that when you don't even that? How you going to do that when you don't da 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 da? You know, that's what's wrong with you. You want to da da da. And how you going? And those negative seeds that they planted, they took root, right? And they kept me from believing that I was worthy, right, of moving forward. Think about that. And then when you feel like you're not worthy and when you feel like you're not capable, you essentially feel like you're not enough. And so those seeds that were planted, right? So it was some stuff coming from the outside. And then internally, right? I'm knowing a lot of the goofy things that I did and didn't do, and the times I missed the mark and all of that. And those things came together. And now it's just like all this dead weight, right? Holding me back. And then when I want to move forward, those monsters are like, where you going? Remember you had did this? Where you going? Remember you did this? Oh yeah, that's good, but not for you, because how you gonna do that when you did it? And I'm constantly being reminded of those things, but I have to continue to fight through those things. I have to continue to tell those monsters, I gotta chop their heads off, on a daily basis so that I can move forward. So letting go of the past is valuable. It's challenging, but it's really, really valuable. And it literally holds us back, right? She said, Erica said, I'm now a better qualifier to assist you and keep you from not making my mistakes. Exactly. Right? Exactly. I stand here as an example of someone who has been down this particular road, who has made the poor choice, right? You're at the fork. I went that way, and these are what the outcomes look like. So, you don't have to experience it because I've already experienced it, and let me help you navigate it. Or you're in this particular situation. I got you. I can help you navigate through that. What were you thinking about? I thought that too. And then this leads to this, and this leads to this. And it's like, wow. So to your point, I'm a better qualified. You're better qualified to help someone in certain situations because you've survived, right? You're on the other side of those particular situations. Abso-freaking-lutely, right? And even yourself, you're better qualified to move forward and help yourself because of what you've experienced and what you've been through. Isn't that something, right? Because we'll give advice to our friend or to even someone in a business, someone to come to, hey, yo, I'm stuck here. I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, all you need to do is boom, 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 boom. And we'll help them. And now we sitting here going through the same struggle. Happens all the time. Happens all the time. Anyway, so what else? So the past is holding us back, right? Another thing, right? Another reason why we need to let go of the past. And this is one that I experienced too. Really, really, talking about monsters trying to eat me. Holding on to the past literally invites anxiety and depression. Literally, holding on to the past invites in anxiety and depression. What am I talking about? Well, anxiety and depression are essentially, depression is yesterday haunting you, holding you back, and anxiety is tomorrow haunting you and holding you back. So how can holding on to the past invite in anxiety and depression? Well, when you're holding on to the past, right, that's essentially that's the doorway for depression to come in. Because now all of my thoughts, all of my words, all of my actions, all of my feelings, everything that I do or don't do is being filtered through yesterday, right? And now it's starting to weigh on me and things are getting heavy. And what on paper, or essentially looks or feels like, looks like a simple, right, decision or an easy pivot, it's it's 1,000 times more challenging than it should be because my refusal to let go of yesterday. That depression is hanging on me, and now I'm feeling down because now I'm feeling like I can't do it. Right? I'm feeling like, how can I? Because, and I have these justifications as I look at yesterday, and then comes tomorrow. Right? Now anxiety comes in, and now when it's time for me to step forward or make a choice, I'm painting all of these pictures of doom and gloom of all of the things that may go wrong or could go wrong. Why? Because I don't trust me. Because look what I did back there. So if I do this, these things might happen because remember that had happened, right? And now anxiety and depression, they're thieves, right? And now they're like the bully in school, right? Got me hemmed up on a locker, running in my pockets, right? And essentially that's what life becomes for us. And I'm telling you, I've been there. Those monsters constantly eating away at you, and you're still trying to show up, and you're trying to put your good face on, and you're trying to push forward. But every time you go to step forward, as simple as the step may seem, those monsters make it huge and much more challenging. And that stems from my refusal to let go of the past. But when I let it go, right, and I shift my focus, now I can be in the moment, right? My favorite quote, right? Above all else, be present. Above all else, be present. My favorite quote. Above all else, be present. Why is that my favorite quote? Because when it became my favorite, when I adopted it as my favorite, I was fighting those monsters of anxiety and depression. And I was either stuck in yesterday or stuck in the what how the doom and gloom of what could come tomorrow or the evils of yesterday. And it was a battle for me to just be here, right? Like right now, I'm here. I got 99 things going on in my world. I wear a lot of different hats. I'm a lot of things to and for a lot of people. But right now, I'm here. And I don't care if it's no one, if it's 1,000 people, if it's 5 people, it doesn't matter. I'm here because I made a commitment to myself to be here. I'm present here in the moment. I'm not worrying about what had happened yesterday, and I'm not worrying about what might happen later on. I'm here in the moment, right? But that's impossible if I won't let go of yesterday, right? And then we wonder why we struggle. We wonder why we're always kind of zoned out, or we wonder why we can't sit quietly, right? That's a whole nother door I'm not even going to open. So dwelling on the past, right, causes us it invites in anxiety and depression, right? We literally invite anxiety and depression in, right? We make ourselves available for anxiety and depression because, again, we're holding on to yesterday and we're stuck. And now we're using that big brain, we're using that superpower of our imagination to paint these pictures of doom and gloom based off of what had happened yesterday, instead of letting that go and then focusing on the next right step, right? Focusing on, how I can change, right? I can do my best to have a positive impact on tomorrow by making great choices today, right? And so, and that goes right into the next one, right? When we let go of the past, we set ourselves up for success in today and tomorrow, right? And I've said it multiple times, but I'm gonna say it again. When I let go of yesterday, my hands are now free to operate in today, to operate in the present, right? And now I'm here and I make the next right choice and I make the next right choice. And then I look up tomorrow and I'm a little further along and I'm a little stronger. I'm a little wiser, right? I'm a little more intelligent. I'm a little sharper. I learned something. And even if I take what I believe is the next right step and I roll my ankle and I fall, I learned something. So I'm still wiser. I'm still better. I'm still stronger, right? And I continue to move forward. And that's what growth and progress looks like. But if we're holding on to yesterday, right, we're cheating ourselves out of the opportunities that exist for us today, right? We're cheating ourselves out of the things that are waiting on us today and tomorrow. So you're holding on to yesterday and you're wondering, where are the opportunities? Are you all in really? Are you? And that's a personal thing that we have to explore. But trust me, I've been there, right? I've definitely been there. So anyway, it's vitally important for us to let go of the past, right? There's no power there. There's absolutely no power there, right? There's absolutely nothing we can do to change it. I don't care if you become a billionaire, you wake up tomorrow morning, you're a billionaire. There's no check that you can write that could change what had happened to you 5 years ago. Literally, once we accept that, right? And we take the time and energy, right? The mental space, right? The emotional space that was taken up, then we can take that and now we're a little more free. And now we can use that time and energy and that emotional space, to build on the now, to build the new, to concentrate on who we are, the person that we are, and the person that we're yet becoming, right? So yes, holding on to yesterday, it's not serving us at all. It's actually keeping us small. It's keeping us bound. It's essentially we're carrying it, right? And there are blessings in front of us, but we can't even seize them because our arms are full, right? We're carrying these things, and a lot of the stuff we're carrying doesn't even belong to us. We've picked up a bunch of stuff along the way that's not even ours, right? Especially those of you that are like me that want to help everybody, right? Not only are you carrying your own baggage, right? You're like you're like me in the airport. I got my stuff, I got my wife's stuff, I got the son's stuff, I got the lady over there, the old lady stuff. I'm just gonna carry everybody's stuff. And that's what we do, right? That's essentially what we do. But at some point, we have to let all of that stuff go so that we can free ourselves. Because it's like, man, there goes something I would like to have that. Well, where are you going to put it? How are you going to grab it? It's literally right there in front of you, but you can't even, because you're busy. It's time to let that stuff go. Any questions before I bail? Any questions before I bail? Time to let it go, y'all. Let it go. Let them go. Let old you go, right? Sometimes we're holding on to who we used to be. Uh-oh, that's it. That's the one. Sometimes we're holding on to who we used to be, and it's keeping us from stepping into or becoming who we could become, or even getting to know who we actually are. Because you're not the same person today that you were last year, but if you don't let him or her go, if you don't create a space between you and her, if you don't step away from her and get to know who you are, so that you can then make the choices you need to make so that you can become who it is you want to become. But you don't want to let her go. You don't want to let him go. And that can be challenging at times, right? Because personally, right? This is me now. There are some skills, some habits, some things I had to develop to save me when I was in a really dark place, emotionally, spiritually. I was in a really dark place, right? I was in a hurting place, and I had to do some things to dig myself out of that and get on my feet, right? But now, some of those habits and rituals and things that I developed to save myself, right? Those things are now stopping me from going to the next level. Oh, but I have an emotional connection with some of this stuff and some of these habits, and because they saved me. Right. They saved you, right? If you were dying of thirst and I gave you this water, right? Woo, your body needed that. It could save you. But then if you start reading and there's some things that, wait a minute, that stuff is, man, that's the reason I can't rest because it has X amount of sugar. You might find something in here that is not so, you get where I'm going? But when I gave it to you, listen, if you are thirsty and I give you this water, it's good. But then when you come out of that, now when your system is regulated and then you go to drink, wait a minute. Let's just say water is, let's just say it was a Pepsi. If you're starving and dying of thirst and I gave you a Pepsi, it'd be the best thing you've ever touched. But then when you get yourself together and now you're operating on a different level and you're taking care of yourself and you want to be healthy and you're making these different choices, and then you look at those and go, ooh, as good as you taste, Pepsi, ooh, this doesn't align with who I am and who I'm becoming. But at one point, when I was starving, that Pepsi was the best thing I ever got my hands on. Oh, I see some comments. Let me take a swig of this. We can call it Pepsi. Okay, let's see. Oh, this D-Day. Let me hold on to my seat. She dropping bombs. We get caught up holding on to what could have been instead of realizing the truth of the situation. Ooh, or better yet, accepting. I like that. Accepting the truth of said situation. So she said realizing, right? And you're so good. She said realizing. And I'm glad you doubled down and said accepting, better yet, accepting, right? Because, we'll see it, you know? I'll see that. Whew, this gut getting big, y'all. Whew, I got to do something about it. And I can either really do something about it, or my something about it can be get a bigger shirt or pretend I didn't see it, right? So You're absolutely right. We get caught up holding on to what it could have been, right? And then we get romantic about stuff and why and this and blah, 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 you know? And like to your point, we hold on to it and man, it could. And then when we take a step back and say, you know what? Let's look at the actual reality of this situation. Let's look at what this really is. And let me go ahead and accept this is this. As much as I want it to be this, it's this. Now what? Right? And then, like I always talk about being honest, right? That honest assessment. I have to be honest. And a part of being honest is actually acknowledging part of me and accepting what you see, not loving it, and not seeing it as the end all be all. Right? Look at that. She said, ooh, romanticizing trauma. We do it all the time. That's heavy right there. When even just reading romanticizing trauma. And we do that. And sometimes, oh man, I don't know how we got here, but let's go. Sometimes we look for that because we'll get people to tap in and sign off on that. I know, bro, that was some BS what she did, and I know, man, I was trying my. Half the time I'll be lying, right? Girl, that ain't right because, and are you okay? Are you sure? And and now we got people that want to baby us and want to, right? And then we become attached to that story because when I when I when I put that out there, look at the response the world gives me. But when I say, you know what? No, I'm done with that. I'm healed. I'm moving on. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. Right? You may not have as many people clapping for you, as many people that want to come over and, and have some tea with you and rally around you, right? Or fellas, everybody ain't gonna be like, yo, what you sure? Come on, man, no, we out, man. You ain't sitting in the house, man. I know you went through it. No, forget that, man. Come on, man. You gotta get back out there. They don't do that. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh man, you know what? Yeah, how long can I milk this? How long can I milk this? I've seen it so many times. And right now, literally, I'm going through kind of a self check to make sure I'm not, I'm not romanticizing certain things in my life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whoa, gotta look at the reality of the situation and adjust accordingly, right? Don't just be holding on to stuff you know, because of the reaction or the response that you get from the world. Oh man, blah, 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 blah. See, I avoid that at all costs. That's why I don't believe in complaining and I don't believe in making excuses. Because when you complain, you're going to get some people to tap in with you. Man, this is hot outside. I know the weather sucks. You was just cold. You were just complaining about that. So no matter what, you're going, right? Or if you make excuses, man, I would, but my knee and my back and my I know, right? Because I was gonna do that too, but my knee, but remember my knee, but with your knee and my knee too, my knee like you. Anyway, anything else before I bail? Appreciate that. Ooh, romanticizing trauma. That's heavy. But God knows so many of us are guilty of it. Anything else? Wait a few seconds. Thanks for tapping in. A little midday motivation. Jumped on late. I was in the zone working on some things, and then I had to like, oh man, what was the question? All right, had to woosah for a second, and then jump on and give a little something. Hopefully, there was some value here for someone. Thanks for tapping in, ladies. I appreciate the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Derek threw something in there. Truly, truly appreciate y'all. Means the world for y'all to tap in and support. Listen, if you're struggling, right, with letting go of the past, right, or with anything, honestly, that, that may have come up, or if even these discussions, right, have kind of connected with something inside of you and you're like, man, am I? If you need some help, if you need someone to hold your hand and go in that dark, gloomy basement with you to explore whatever that is so we can clean that crap up so you can go be great, I'll go in there with you, right? If you need someone to go up in that dark, gloomy, wet, cobweb-filled attic, you know what I mean? And go up there and, get that box with your dreams in it so we can dust that thing off and sort through it and get back to work, let me know. I got you. That's who I am. That's what I do. I'm willing to get down in the mud with you, but I won't stay there, right? I'll get down there with you so that I can pull you up and we can go forward. I don't see no questions. All right. If any, like I said, if I'm your person, hit me up. Easy to, what Dion say? I ain't hard to find. Prom said, I ain't hard to find. I'm easy to find. No questions. All right. I'll see y'all next time.